Okay, section 4, risk quantification. Risk quantification. Introduction to working section 4, section 4.0, that is working section 4 for disaster risk assessment training program, day 3. Working section 4 is risk quantification. Risk quantification. So in this section, we will focus on assess fragile damage function curve, damage profile and loss profile in order to do assess replacement value. So the three is in focus on the risk quantification. The objective of this section is review and design the design risk, potential damage, and loss. Quantification tools include ODAL's method and database. Provide input to the assess replacement value database. We expect to outcome is participants are expected to have a good understanding of how to quantify risk, potential damage, and loss to specific assets such as building, livestock, and crop in response to the given hazard event scenarios. So here's the main agendas. Introduction to working section 4, damage and loss assessment. Section 4.1, we will focus on potential damage and loss modeling. Section 4.2 is a back-based tool. And section last one is 4.3 is country case, rapid qualification of displaced household and population caused by the 2015 Nepal earthquake disaster. So let's talk about the damage and loss modeling in section 4.1. Generic potential damage and loss model. Potential loss by equal exposed vulnerable assessed multiple with damage ratio multiple with replacement value. So the quantity of the target vulnerable asset to a given hazard, damage ratio is a reading from the hazard specific fragility function of or damage matrix of the target asset, and the replacement value is a current market value of the target asset when a disaster occurs. So potential damage and loss model for building, that potential loss equal exposed vulnerable buildings multiple with damage ratio multiple with replacement value. So exposed vulnerable building is equal quantity of the target vulnerable building to a given hazard, which is input from the National Vulnerabilities Database or building. Damage ratio is a hazard specific fragility function of the target asset, which are developed based on the historic damage and loss database. And the replacement value is the current market value of the target asset when a disaster occurs, which is to be developed through working section 4. Here's earthquake specific building fragility function for Mongolia. Yes, we have building types, 9 types building. Describes from raw brick building to the last flat prefabricated building is very good. probability probability of the residents being affected. Propose probability of building collapsed is building 9 type, and probability of building collapsed percent is from 6 to 10. Yeah, 6 to 10 is percentage 2.9 to 100%. Human death function and model is human death function. That's a function between human death function. Number of death and one family private. Yes, number of death 10 and 10. Quantifying livestock loss is damage, pasture, multiple carrying capacity, multiple unit value. That's pastural land located in high very hazard intensity area, reading from pastoral land exposure database. Quantifying crop loss is equal to damaged crop land multiple with the crop productivity multiple unit value. Thus, damaged cropland is the cropland located in a high or a very high intensity areas, reading from the cropland exposure database. So in section 4.2, that is scenario-based back exposure database. We define like this is a back exposure aggregation to the storm IMAC region organized by hazard scenario. So building into aggregate to the back building vulnerability, hazard intensity and damage ratio, damage and loss estimation, building damage and loss aggregated to the storm IMAC and region by hazard scenario in this Excel table. The back based on the displaced population POP quantification. We have back population and household dwelling into info from the POP housing Kansas dwelling collapse estimation and displaced household and population. That is name of column. Displaced population aggregated to the storm IMAC and region by the hazard scenario. And back-based data for livestock is back livestock info carrying capacity loss, livestock loss estimation, livestock loss estimation aggregated for to storm IMAC and region by hazard scenario. Here is the back-based data for crop is similar. Back crop info, crop damage estimated, crop loss aggregated to the storm IMAC and region by hazard scenario. Section 4.3 case study rapid quantification of displaced household and population caused by the 2015 Nepal earthquake disaster. About the 2015 Nepal earthquake disaster happened in northwest of Kathmandu. Earthquake estimate magnitudes about 7.8 magnitudes. Richter degree small earthquake in the house. Afterward, the Mount Everest area of strong shaking magnitudes earthquake struck Nepal is 25 April 2015 at 11:56 local time, created largest scale damage and many casualties. The epicenter was located 81 kilometers northwest of the Nepali capital Kathmandu. The earthquake has caused a number of landslides and avalanches. A strong aftershock is include the 6.7 magnitude quake on to 26 April 2015 continue to threaten the life of thousands of people and further damage building and infrastructure. Many people are afraid and have slept outside several consecutive nights in spite of the falling rain. So purpose of this rapid quantification is United Nation flash appeal is an international recognized tool used to quickly secure fund for UN agency NGOs. Requires how many house they miss, how many household displaced, how many population is displaced, and evidence-based seismic activities intensity. 2015 population housing Kansas master database. Yeah, we have this data, household and population in a different table. Quantification about displaced household and population. Yes, we have this Excel table showing the different column with values. And we have damage and loss reporting over the time in April 25 to 30, 2015. Reading from hazard intensity, severity, and damage degree, and calculation and displays the household and population in terms of the vulnerable house structure and material. Summary reason 2 is a key figure in flash appeal. Summary flash appeal. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.